Your videos aren't bad. It's your hooks. And that's actually good news, because if it was your content, we would have much larger problems. It's just that hooks have changed. It's not enough to sit down in front of your camera and say, if you do X, you'll get Y. Stay tuned for more. Feeds on YouTube move so much faster than they used to. Nowadays, the first 1.5 seconds really determine your success. And after analyzing thousands of videos, one pattern kept showing up over and over again. I call it the stop stack formula, the blueprint to get people to stop scrolling. Before we get to that though, we need to talk about your viewers, because hooks used to be a sentence. You open with something dramatic and that was enough.
The only thing I love more than breakfast is free breakfast.
And today, that's just not as effective. People don't scroll intentionally, they're on autopilot. Thumb moving, brain barely engaged, which means your first job isn't to be clever, it's to interrupt the pattern. Something that simply breaks the rhythm of the scroll to wake up the brain.
This is a hook.
This is a hook.
This is a hook.
This is a hook. This is a hook. This is a hook. This is a hook.
Now, these are all visual hooks. They get you to stop scrolling before a single word is even said in the video, and they break the normal rhythm of the feed. That's the key. Scrolling is smooth and predictable. Swipe, 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 and then something moves a little bit different. Something snaps, tears, an object enters the frame in a way you didn't expect. It's not necessarily storytelling, it's more of a disruption. And these don't have to be perfectly curated frames that are super aesthetic. That shot I set up over there at the beginning, that took like 2 minutes. It can be a dramatically wide angle, a zoom out, even a slow reveal in a sea of fast cuts, playing with a prop and adding a low angle. If it breaks the visual pattern of the feed, then it's a visual hook. And then of course there's foreshadowing.
When you live in a small apartment, dead space is your worst enemy. So what I mean by dead space in this scenario,
showing the outcome of something at the beginning of the video. Your brain sees that result and goes, well, wait a minute, what was that? It injected just enough curiosity for your brain to start begging for an answer. But sight isn't the only way to wake someone up. It can also be sound. Before your brain has had time to process the image, your nervous system is already reacting to the sound. A snap, a pop, a sudden beat drop, sometimes complete silence. Scrolling has a rhythm to it, and so does the content you watch if you tend to watch a lot of the same stuff. The music all starts to meld together, the voices blur together, and everything just kind of feels the same. If something unexpected can happen though, then it cuts through the noise and disrupts the scroll. But not all audio cues need to be shocking and disruptive. Take the ASMR space, for example. Those videos don't overpower you, they pull you in. And that's still a pattern interrupt, just a quiet one. And then we should talk about trending audio, because this is really interesting. Sometimes that disruption in the scroll doesn't come from just a shocking sound effect. It can be something you recognize, a familiar piece of music. Stuff like a viral song, or a trending voice clip, or a meme. Get your brain to go, oh, I know that. Recognizing stuff like that can stop the scroll too. Next, I want to talk about text hooks, and not specifically what you say, but what exactly appears on screen. I don't know if you've noticed this, but reading can feel pretty automatic. You don't exactly choose to read stuff sometimes, your brain just does it, which as a creator buys you a lot of time. Text can really anchor people's attention, and that's why words that pop up one at a time as subtitles on shorts and videos work so well. By forcing the brain to read and listen at the same time, it helps your retention because people are going to be more engaged. Or better yet, if people are watching with the sound off, at least there's a chance that they can understand what your video's about before they turn the sound on. Obviously, you can be very playful with these. You don't need to be a graphic designer to have good captions, but you can mess with them a little bit to raise that curiosity.
It says, "Hi Ryan, I love your videos. I am from Colombia, but I live in Mexico. You have an amazing attitude and vibes, and keep the hard work. Also, my favorite fruits are mango and kiwi. Cheers, bye."
So far, we have visual hooks, audio hooks, and text hooks, and all of those are great, and they're very effective. They can buy you a lot of time as a creator, but they don't do one thing on their own, and that's raise tension, and that tension is really important, so that's what we're going to talk about next. Your traditional hook can be something like a sentence, a bold claim, a dramatic question. I lost $40,000 because of this. This is a really expensive card, though. If you don't do this, you'll get that. You're doing this wrong. Nobody talks about mini PCs. This is the old way of hooking, and to be clear, it still works. It raises curiosity, it creates contrast, and it adds tension. Your brain is going to hear that gap between what you believe and what I just said, and it's going to want closure. It's going to want to close that curiosity loop. Back then, the sentence was enough. These days, though, the sentence alone rarely wins. Before someone has even had time to process your claim, they're still scrolling on their phone. So to engineer the perfect 1.5 second hook, you stack all of these elements together, and I'll show you what that looks like. This is visual plus text. The interrupt is visual. It breaks the rhythm of the feed immediately, but then the text takes over and reveals the message. This one is visual plus statement. The high angle grabs you, then he gets into the content. Again, the visual disrupts autopilot, but the spoken line injects tension. The statement introduces contrast. It challenges a belief, makes a promise, or creates stakes. You interrupt first, then add meaning, and that order matters. Here, the visual disrupts, but the sound intensifies the disruption. A snap, a beat drop, a sudden silence. Now you've hit both the ears and the eyes at the same time, which is a lot stronger than just doing one on their own.
Oh.
A simple action of a prop coming in, a short ding, and the choice of saying, oh, in that moment. This is still very strong without all the fancy production.
Oh, here we go again.
This one leads with sound. That very familiar song signals that something awkward is about to happen. Then your eyes follow to the screen. The text anchors your comprehension, so your brain isn't just reacting, it's actually understanding what's happening, and that comprehension is what's going to keep people watching.
Would you like to know a useless fact about ancient Greek sculptures? No? Well, I'm going to tell you anyways.
This one starts with an auditory interrupt and then immediately follows with a bold claim. The sound wakes you up, the statement creates a gap in your brain that it wants to close. That's tension, and tension is what keeps people from scrolling away from your video. Now let's zoom out. What did all of these have in common? It wasn't niche, it wasn't editing, it wasn't personality, it was structure. They all follow the same sequence. Stop, then stack. That's it. So now you should understand that first 1.5 seconds a bit better. You know how to stop the scroll, you know how to stack tension. But there's something even earlier in the process that happens before people even see your video. They see your thumbnail, if they're not finding your video on the Shorts feed. And thumbnails have changed significantly just in the last year. These are the ones that are popping off right now. A zoom out, even a slow reveal in a sea of fast cuts.